Cronenberg is a fascinating auteur-director. I didn't know about him further than The Fly, but while working on this video, I've watched 10 of his movies, mostly his most notable ones. I have gained a lot of respect for his work, which is often described as weird and nonsensical from the outside, but is deeply layered and important in terms of storytelling, commentary, and special effects. As a director alone, he has made many good movies, but I find that those that represent his style the best are the ones he also wrote. He is a good writer, and the movies that he wrote and directed have more layers to them in my opinion, which is why they are the ones I prefer. The most obvious element of his style is the amalgamation of body horror with psychological depth. The ingenuity of these special effects is worth noting. They are extremely well done and look awesome, and the fact that they are practical is in sync with the common anti-technology theme in his repertoire. Cronenberg's films are recognizable by the fleshy creatures and things that inhabit his bizarre worlds. Bonus points if they're veiny and breathing. Even in the movies I expected it the least, horrid instruments and bodily monstrosities made an appearance. What is the most interesting, in my opinion, is that these things are often an allegory or symbolism. For example, in Dead Ringers, the gynecological devices for operating on mutant women represent Beverly's deteriorating mental health because they are the outcome of his disturbed reality brought on by his addiction. In a similar fashion, basically everything in Naked Lunch is the result of drug-induced hallucinations. His work also presents flawed characters and unordinary worlds. The characters are often stuck in the circumstances they created for themselves. They often lose, whether it is literally the character or humanity.
Long live the new flesh.
Cronenberg plays with unconventional and taboo subjects. Common themes in his work are substance use and addiction, sex, identity, and technology. Unreliable characters and narratives are also recurring in his work, such as in Naked Lunch, Spider, and Existence. I found that there are two storylines that are predominant in his collection of works: identity crisis provoked or encouraged by drug abuse, and the relationship between technology and humanity. His most known movie, The Fly, is a primary example of the latter, same as Videodrome. In both movies, the main character becomes obsessed with an idea and goes to extreme lengths to make it a reality. The Fly comments on the physical changes technological advancements impose on the human body, whereas Videodrome is about the opportunity to control/manipulate that technology permits, especially visual media such as television. In both movies, as well as in Existence, the commentary about the consequences of humanity merging with technology and often confusing fiction from reality is clearly prominent.
Don't you think you should have to suffer for all the harm you've done and intend to do to the human race?
What? Yes. Don't you think the world's greatest game artist ought to be punished? For the most effective deforming of reality.
I don't think this is very... Guys, can you come over here right now, please?
I think the message of those three movies is sadly most true for our current times, especially with propaganda being very accessible through social media and with the rise of artificial intelligence and virtual realities. Technology is bleeding seamlessly with reality, and confusing both is getting easier and easier.
Hey, tell me the truth. Are we still in a game?
Dead Ringers and Naked Lunch are about identity and addiction. Dead Ringers is an outlier in Cronenberg's library. It explores the psychology of the characters through the characters, their emotions, choices, movements, instead of with external elements. Naked Lunch is the extreme opposite. All of the protagonist's psychology is represented through alien characters, props, and environments. Despite being very different, I think these two movies summarize Cronenberg's style the best. What I appreciate the most about his work is that he doesn't rely on shock value. Unlike many in the body horror genre, his movies have depth and commentary. The gore and bodily horrors happen for a reason and push the story forward. The cast are interesting and have distinct fears, goals, and personalities that go way further than character stereotypes. The environments are developed and artistically satisfying. His work is extremely important in the Canadian and international film industry and has been the inspiration of many. All information has either been taken from the Critic Film article, 10 signature elements of David Cronenberg's filmmaking style, or from my own analysis.